A caravan of black Suburbans arrived on the side of the road, police lights flickering. These people didn't look like cops. They wore all black. Gabriel and Wences were blindfolded and put in the back of an SUV. "What are you doing here?" the man who looked like Rambo asked again. Earlier that night, Gabriel Cardona and his friend Wences Tovar had taken a Jeep Cherokee across the river and into Nuevo Laredo. They were not law students, this was true. Gabriel had once excelled at English and math, but he'd given up on school after a truant officer at Martin High had discovered rolling papers and a bullet in his pocket as a sophomore. After several stints in alternative classes and a military boot camp, he'd reached the conclusion that his education lay elsewhere. Growing up in El Azteca, a neighborhood overlooking the Rio Grande, he had seen the kind of money there was to be made from drugs going north. But it wasn't until he'd met Meme Flores, a guy in Nuevo Laredo who was friends with a Azteca family, that he'd realized what needs existed south of the border. Meme had shown him the other side, the demand for cars and weapons in Mexico. With a growing drug habit of his own, Gabriel had fallen easily into stealing cars and trucks around town. He'd even persuaded Wences to go in with him. It was criminal, yes, but Gabriel was meeting new people and making money, enough to dream about one day leaving his mother's ramshackle house on Lincoln Street. It was Wences who had proposed taking the Jeep Cherokee that day. He'd told Gabriel he had a new connection, a Mexican cop who would pay a little more than the standard rate of $1,000 per SUV. So they'd driven to the Nuevo Laredo police barracks and asked for the cop. They'd been met with blank stares. So they'd left. As they headed back to Vicente Guerrero Avenue, a Mexican police truck pulled them over. Gabriel and Wences were handcuffed, led into the brush, and told to stand still. The cops made a call. It was early 2004, and Gabriel had heard the rumors swirling about a new group taking over in Nuevo Laredo. La Gente Nueva, people called them. They were cleaning town, wiping out dealers and putting a halt to all local drug selling. If you possessed drugs, and these new people didn't know you, it meant that someone had sold the drugs to you, or that you were selling them, without authority. Gabriel hurried to step through his handcuffs so he could reach inside his jeans for the pills he'd hidden. He'd been about to throw the baggie into the brush but thought better of it and swallowed all 5 Roche instead. A caravan of black Suburbans arrived on the side of the road, police lights flashing. These people didn't look like cops. They wore all black. Gabriel and Wences were blindfolded and put in the back of an SUV. 10 minutes later, they arrived at another location, got out, and were escorted into some kind of structure. The blindfolds removed, their eyes adjusted to a narrow, windowless room. It looked like a caballeriza, a horse stall made of brick. Gabriel and Wences had been searched for guns, but Gabriel still had his cell phone. He dialed his older brother. "¿Qué onda, Gui?" his brother answered. "What's up, dude?" More men were getting out of the Suburbans. In the illumination of headlights, a cloud of dust rose and hung in the air, moved forward, then dissolved. A phalanx of men emerged from the shadows, led by an individual wearing a gun holstered on one thigh and a knife on the other. The man who was now interrogating them. Miguel Trevino. Miguel, surprised, knocked Gabriel down with a powerful hook. Gabriel fell, was helped up. More questions, more bullshit answers. The grenade came out. Miguel left the horse stall. Gabriel told Wences that he loved him and that it was good to have been friends. Wences, heart beating wildly, couldn't understand how Gabriel was so calm. He didn't want to die. Gabriel continued. It was a shame to go like this, but there were worse ways. They watched Miguel confer with the others outside, holding the grenade against his hip like a pitcher cups a baseball. A thought popped into Gabriel's mind. Meme. I work for Cerro Dos. Gabriel shouted, using the codename for Meme Flores. O2. Miguel turned around. What? I bring him cars and trucks. I also cross juguetes, toys, meaning guns. Miguel laughed. Why the fuck didn't you say something? I didn't know who we were dealing with. I didn't want to be saying something to the wrong people. Nuevo Laredo is still mixed. It's not mixed anymore. We're the only dominant ones. Gabriel nodded. Miguel explained that the cop the boys had tried to sell the troca to was a contra, an enemy, and had been borrado del mapa the previous day. Erased from the map. 30 minutes passed, then Meme arrived. Yeah, he's my guy, Meme said. Get him off. Meme introduced Miguel to the boys as a comandante for Los Zetas. Meme had never met Wences, but he told Miguel that he could vouch for anyone whom Gabriel called a pareja, a partner. Gabriel now made the connection. All those stolen trucks and smuggled guns were going, ultimately, to La Gente Nueva. The Zetas.